Good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. I hope you were able to tune in this morning and watch Sellers Crane, or you were able to either join in person. I thought he did an excellent job as always. I want you to keep in mind that you can go back and still share those videos on Facebook, and also keep in mind that even people that do not have a Facebook account can watch those videos. All you do is you do a little search for Rivergate Church of Christ Facebook page. You do that in your Google bar, and it'll come up. And of course, when you initially open the page on the internet, it will try to get you to set up a Facebook account, but you should have a little X or a close button, and you just close that out and then scroll down our page and find those videos that you want to watch. So again, encourage you to continue to share those videos. Sellers had an excellent lesson this morning, certainly worthy of being shared and gotten out there with your friends and family. Also want to remind you that coming up this Wednesday night, we have Isaac Bourne who will be with us. He is the preacher at the Chapel Hill Church of Christ. So he's coming, and that's going to be on Wednesday night starting at 6:30. We should be live and in person, so whichever option you want to choose, that is available for you. Again, if you're watching online, share the videos. If you come to the building, go home and share the videos. I know I sound like a broken record, but I want to keep on getting those things out there. We've had some great success with reaching the public during this time, so I want us to be able to keep doing that. I want us to have our live services, that's great, but I also want us to be able to reach those people who might be watching online and from their homes. So I guess you figured out by now that that I'm on vacation this week. I had Sellers filling in for me. Pretty nice to have a guy like that that's able to step in, which pretty much all the elders, several of them at least, could step in and preach if they need to. 2 or 3 of those guys have done quite a bit of preaching over the years, and some served as youth ministers and things like that. So that's a pretty good benefit that we have at Rivergate, that we have men who are able to do that and to fill in and to do so many things that the elders are able to do. So I'm thankful for that. But I'm out this week. I'm on vacation, and I was thinking about some things last night. And I guess my mind's weird. Maybe it's because I'm a preacher, but I'm always thinking about illustrations and things like that. And what I got to thinking about is that one of these days when Jesus comes back, somebody's going to be on vacation. Now, I want you to just hold that thought for a minute, and I want you to think about what the Bible has to say about when Jesus comes back. One of the first passages that we come in contact with is in Matthew chapter 24. He starts out talking about some things that he's basically asking or answering multiple questions that have been asked. Starts out talking about things to do with the destruction of Jerusalem. And then he changes gears a little bit in verse 36. He says, "But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels, only my Father in heaven." So that's Matthew chapter 24 and verse 36. When Paul talks about this in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, he says in verse 2 that it's going to be as a thief in the night. And then in verse 3 he says it's going to be at a time when people say peace and safety. So you think about when you're on vacation. Are you thinking about Jesus coming back, or the end of times and things like that? Well, I can assure you that there is someone on vacation pretty much 365 days a year. Someone is somewhere on vacation. So it's bound to happen that when Jesus comes back, someone's going to be on vacation. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10, Peter says it's going to be as a thief in the night. The point is, it's going to be unexpected. Paul says it's going to be when they say peace and safety. Jesus says no one knows the day and the hour. So in other words, there's not going to be some signs that say, okay, today is the day. It's going to be when people are not expecting it. And granted, as many people as there are in this world, there may be somebody that's expecting it to come that day. We can't say that for 100% because there's so many people, so many thoughts going through different people's heads. Someone might be sitting around thinking this may be the day that Jesus comes and then he appears. It's almost bound to happen because people have those kind of things on their mind. But you can be sure that someone's going to be on vacation. The thing about it is, we've got to make sure that when we become Christians, that we realize we may take vacations from our jobs and from things like that, but there is no vacation from being a Christian. And that doesn't just mean when you go out of town. It doesn't just mean when you have taken off from work. I mean, we never take a vacation from being a Christian. We may slip up. We may make mistakes. but we don't take a vacation from doing what's right, from being a Christian. We take it with us when we go outside of the church building. We take it with us outside of our worship. That's not the only time that we are a Christian, because God is always watching. He's always with us. I want you to carry this thought with you as you go into the week and as you go into the rest of your life. Remember what I said. Jesus is going to come back one day, and I want you to think about the things that you're doing. Whatever it is that you might be doing, would you be okay with doing that thing, whatever it might be, if Jesus came back? Maybe it's how you interact with someone at the drive-thru. You're sitting there, you're being really mean and hateful to, I hope you're not doing that, but let's just say you were, to the young lady at the drive-thru. All of a sudden, the trumpet sounds, Jesus is back in a flaming fire with his mighty angels. Would you be happy with the way that you were treating that person? You're dealing with someone in a grocery store. You're dealing with a teller at the bank. Maybe it is that you're on vacation. You're somewhere out of town. You're at a place where you're not seeing anyone who's members of your congregation. Likely not to see anyone that you know. Maybe you will not see anyone that you would ever see again. But you can be sure that God is always watching. And as I said, one day Jesus will come back again. Would you be happy with the actions that you are taking if he were to come back at that particular time and in that particular week and in that particular day and hour and whatever it is that you might be doing? Now, thankfully, we do have 1 John chapter 1 and verse 7 that tells us if we walk in the light as he is in the light, the blood of Jesus Christ, his Son, cleanses us from all sin. But I'm just saying, we should work at staying on track. We should remember, we don't take a vacation from being a Christian. One thing that we can also be thankful for on the other side of this is God doesn't take a vacation from being our God. In 1 Kings chapter 18, when Elijah was on Mount Carmel, he was mocking those false gods of the other nations. He says, why doesn't he answer? Well, maybe he's busy, or he's on a long journey. He's on vacation. Or maybe he's sleeping. He's taking a nap, and he needs to be awakened. Our God is always there. He's always with us. He's always watching. On the good side or the bad side, he's always there. You can count on his promises to be sure. He doesn't lie. Carries through with everything he says. That's what he expects of us. He wants us to be faithful Christians. Friends, I just pray that you will take these thoughts with you as you go into the week this week, as you go into your jobs Monday morning. Remember, you wear the name of Christ. You don't take a vacation for that. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I pray that you'll have a blessed week.